And welcome into Rebecca K Crochet. Today what we're going to do is a can or a bottle cozy. And what you're going to need is, I have Premier Cotton. This is a cotton acrylic blend, I think. It's a cotton, cotton polyester blend. So 85% cotton, 15% polyester. There are 128 meters on this. It's a 4-weight, and the color of this one is turquoise. And you can wash and dry this also. You're also going to need either a bottle or a can, and you're going to need your crochet hook. I'm going to use a 5.5 millimeter Susan Bates hook, and a pair of scissors and a darning needle. So to get started, what we are going to do is we are going to make a slip knot, and we're going to chain 4. You can use the magic knot here. I prefer not to. It's just personal preference. I just have a problem with my magic knots coming loose after several years. They just don't stay like this does. So then we're going to chain 2 after we go back into that first stitch with a slip stitch, and then we are going to put 12 double crochets in there. The first one does count as 1, and we are going to work over our tail. I just thought this would be something good for Father's Day, for those dads out there. It can be hard to buy for, and if you wanted to make them something, this would be something that they could use, so their hands don't get wet when they're on the boat this summer or sitting outside in the backyard, or just in the house, actually, because of the humidity that's everywhere right now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this one's number 9. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the top stitch right here. Pull that together, make sure we have 12. 12. Then we are going to chain 2, which counts as our first stitch. Go right back down into where you're coming out. You're coming out of this stitch right here. So you go right back down into that, and we're going to increase this round. So each stitch gets 2 double crochets. So you go around, you should have 24 stitches whenever you get done with this round. And what you want to do on this is you want this to be a little bit snug. So depending on the size of your bottle that you have, that whatever their favorite beverage is, or can, whichever one you're doing, you want to make sure that the bottom of this matches that. This is very beginner friendly, so don't think that if you're a beginner that you can't do this, because it's just double crochets. We may have to do a half double or a single, I don't know yet. I am making this on the fly, so it just means that I make whatever I want to make, whenever I want to make it, and I just do it without a pattern. I don't normally follow anybody's patterns. I just see something and think, oh, I can do that. Or I think of something and think, that would be really cool. So I know that this is not going to be big enough, but a double crochet may be too big for the can. So let's see how far that might be. Okay, so I finished this off right here and only did 2 rounds. And my Coke can sits on it pretty good to where if I start coming up the sides, I don't know if you can see that, but if I start coming up the sides, it's going to flare out just a little bit and give me enough room for my can, I think. So what I'm going to do here is we are going to chain 2, and we are going to half double crochet into the next stitch, not this one, but the next one, into the back loop. And this right here, let me see if I can find my, this is considered, because it's to the front, this is considered your front loop right here, and this is your back loop. So we're going to crochet into just this back loop on every stitch right through here. And that's called crocheting into the back loop only. And so we are going to do a half double crochet, which is yarn over, go into that back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3. We're going to do the same thing, and we're not going to increase on this round because we are going to go up. And all the way around is into the back loop only. Of this round. You can make, several of these and have, everybody, if you're having a Father's Day get together, everybody for Father's Day, or all the dads could have a can or a bottle cozy. And the moms too, for that matter. Or if, you just want to do it for your dad, that's perfectly fine too. I'm going to flip this the other way. It doesn't matter because it'll go either direction, but I'll show you here in just a second why I did what I did when I get finished with this round. That helps it turn and stay on its side or turned up. You can do several different stitches if you want to do, half double, single, double crochets to give it a different kind of a pattern. You can do that. Now we are at our last stitch. We're going to half double crochet into this one. And then we are going to join in the back loop of this one, because we need to keep that pattern going. Okay, so see this is creating an edge right here to help you keep your work turned and going up. And it's going to look small, but this stretches, and so your can, it'll be snug on your can. And so we're going to chain 2, and then we are going to double crochet into this next stitch, but we're going to make sure we have 2 loops on our hook this time. And all the way around, we'll double crochet. And that chain 2 does count as your first double crochet. And we're just going to go around with our double crochets. We are not increasing anymore because we're going to go straight up the sides of our can or a bottle, whichever one you want to do. You can even do this big enough. You just add more rounds if you want to put it on a wine bottle and give it for a gift. And that would keep your wine bottles cold. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't have any of those things around. And I don't drink pop either, so I'm like, I don't drink pop. I drink tea and water is all I drink. I don't drink coffee. We go over to somebody's house, and I usually take tea because people just don't drink tea. They expect you to drink pop. I don't drink it. Okay, we're at the last stitch, and this one we're going to go up to the top, and we are going to slip stitch, chain 2, and we're going to repeat that last row all the way around again, and we will come back here in a second, and I'll show you how to change colors, because I think I'm going to put some white in this one. And you know, I would give, if I was going to do this for my dad who is no longer with us, I would make several so that he could, my dad was a fisherman, and he liked to go out on the boat and have some, you know, cold something to drink on the boat. So, you know, bottled water, cans of pop, whatever. My dad did not drink alcohol either, so, but I would, if I was going to do that, I would make some for him to have in the house and some for him to have on his boat, so he wouldn't have to move them from the house to the boat. He could just keep it out there on his boat with him. So that is something that I would do, is make, you know, 4 or 5, maybe 6, and he could just wash them and leave them on the boat, or, you know, have them in the house and use whatever he wanted to. And I'd do different colors, because this is just a really good scrap project to eat up some yarn. And I would do different colors for him. So that's what we're looking like so far, and I will be back here in just a second to show you how to change colors. Okay, now I'm going to switch to some white, and I am going to leave this yarn on. My blue yarn is going to stay on there. I'm going to start with a slip stitch. A slip knot, not a slip stitch. And on my last one, I'm going to go through my yarn, put my slip knot on the hook, pull through this one, snug this one down back here. I'm going to leave that one attached because I'm going to use it again, and I'm just going to make a slip stitch, and I'm going to snug this one down all the way. There we go. And I'm going to chain 1, and with the white I'm going to half double crochet. And so I'm going to go back in, and I'm just doing this, like I said, on the fly. No rhyme, no reason. I'm just designing. You can do what you want to here. You can go back with a double crochet, whatever you want to do. I just thought it might be neat to have a little bit of a different stitch pattern. If you don't know, a half double crochet is, well, we just did one down below, but you wrap it around, pull through all 3 loops. You start with like a double crochet, but you pull through all 3 instead of pulling through 2 and pulling through 2. I think these would be really neat with all different colors, and everybody's can had a different, at your barbecue or whatever, everybody's can had a different color, so you'd know whose drink is whose. I think that would be fun. And you can use up a lot of scrap yarn that way. And these go great in the washing machine. You just throw them in there. And then your hands don't get all slimy wet. Okay, and so now I'm going to slip stitch into this one. Actually, we're going to do like we did before. Put that one back on my hook. I'm going to drop this one back behind. I'm going to pick this one up. And we're going to go in and we're going to slip stitch this closed. We're going to chain one. I'm going to chain two and go back down in there with a half double crochet. And we're going to double crochet all the way around. Not a half, but a double crochet. And double crochet all the way back around. Leaving that white back there because I'm going to stripe it the rest of the way up. You don't have to change colors if you don't want to. I just am going to stripe all the way up. So I'm going to carry my, it's called carrying your yarn. Whenever you carry something up the back. And it's not going to be seen, so it's okay to carry the yarn up the back. You don't have to cut it off every time. If you want to and weave in ends, that's perfectly fine. I just don't like to weave in ends. It's my least favorite thing. I will sit and weave in ends. I leave it for, you know, one evening of not doing much and just watching YouTube videos, and then I'll sit and weave in all the ends on a project. Okay, so now we're back at the beginning. And we are going to slip stitch to this one. And I'm going to change my yarn, so I'm going to drop this one down, bring this one up. I have gone through and I'm going to bring up that loop with the other yarn. I'm going to snug this one down. I'm going to chain one and we're going to go back in with a half double crochet. With the white, I'm half double crocheting. No rhyme, no reason to it, just what I thought I would do. Like I said before, you can double crochet or single crochet, it doesn't matter. It's all up to you what you want to do and how you want to do it. It's your project, not mine. This is my project. You can even do trebles, but I think trebles would be way too wide here. I think your fingers would go in between them and get a little bit wet, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing the half double on this, is because I'm thinking the double crochet all the way up is going to be a little bit wide. And this half double will bring it back. Half double crochet here. Okay, drop your yarn down, bring up the other one, pull through, and I'm going to do a double crochet, and then I will chain two, double crochet around the top of this, and I will be right back because I think we're tall enough for our can. We may be tall enough for our can with the white. I may have to pull this one out, but we will see. But I will be right back here in just a second. Okay, so now we are going to pull out a big long loop, and we are going to try to get our can inside of here. Which fits perfectly. So I think we'll go up with another round of white and one more round of blue, and we will call that good. I'm going to do that off of camera, but this is what the bottom looks like. And then I will be back to show you how to finish it. So one more row of white and one more row of blue. Whoops. Gotta switch to my white. Drop the blue and pick up the white. Pull through. Snug that down. Chain one. And go into the next one. Half double crochet around with your white. Or whatever color you're changing to. And I will be back whenever I get another row of white and blue done, and I'll show you how to finish. Okay, I tried it on both bottles. This one came out of the fridge, so it's really sweaty. And I did not need to do the second color, so I didn't need to do the blue. I just needed to finish it with the white. So I'm going to show you how to finish off and what to do next. So what we're going to do is go into the top with a slip stitch, and my yarn is now wet from that bottle, so it's going to be hard to pull through. We're going to cut our yarn, and we're going to cut our blue yarn, our blue working yarn. I'm going to pull that through, and I'm going to show you what we are working with here. I'll tuck all my tails down inside for right now. And then we'll go back and weave them in whenever I show you what this looks like. So there's your can cozy. This is the back, and this is the front. It goes all the way up to where you want it. Now you can use this for your bottle as well. This is an A&W root beer bottle. That's as close to beer as I have. And it comes up to the top of the label, which is about where you hold it. But if you're going to do a bottle, you might want to go up and do another row of the blue, and it would be right here, and maybe end with another row of the white. But this is what it looks like with the bottle. There's the back, and there's the front. So yeah, fits pretty good. Just got to work it on there just a little bit. But that is your cozy for your cans. And then we can turn this wrong side out. Grab our needle. Now, like I said, mine is wet from that bottle, so it's going to be hard for me to pull through the yarn. How you thread yarn that's splitting like mine is you take it between your thumb and your finger. You take your eye of your hook and you slowly open up your fingers just a little bit and you wiggle the eye of your hook, and that'll get all that thread in there, all that yarn. Especially cotton thread likes to split really bad. And that's how I do it all the time. If you ever watch me on here, I do every yarn the same. It's wet right there. So it's gonna be acting difficult. I'm going in the inside so that the yarn is hidden on the inside of my work. And I'm going to go right down below that. And then I'm going to skip. I came out on this side of this yarn, so I'm going to skip over and I'm going to go into this side of that yarn, of that leg of the stitch right here on the inside, and I'm going to go right back down this way so that I'm not being seen on this side very much. You can always turn it over and look and see if you can see your needle, and if there is yarn there, you're okay. If not, you might want to try to do something else with it and hide it a little bit better. But that doesn't look too bad. So, and then I'm going to skip over this one and I'm going to go back into this one and go right back down through there again, because this is going to get some hard use on it, stretching and pulling and tugging and wet and dry and all the stuff. And you just weave in all of your yarn that way. We'll go down to the next one. Make sure you pull it snug. Pinch it, find the eye, just wiggle it and it'll go right in there, pop right in there. If I could pull it out. All this yarns, I should have done this before I put it in the bottle. Now you want to go down, because you're coming out the top of your stitch, you want to go down to the bottom of your stitch. And you want to work in down here on the bottom of your stitch. Preferably in front of those other stitches on this side, so it's on the back side of the other, if you're looking at it from the other way. You can also weave up and go back into these colors and weave up and down into the color. I'm going to come back across. Come out right there. And you want to do these 3 times. At least an inch 3 times. Cut your work. Roll your yarn. Do the next one. Make sure it's snug. And we'll work back into the white on this one. See, this one's frayed. You just pinch it and wiggle it back and forth and it'll go right in there. And I'm going to go behind these 2 on the white. I'm going to go up into this stitch and behind these 2 on the white and hide it just a little bit better, and back behind this one. And then back the other direction. And back this way. And I'm going to go back this way one more time. And I'm going to work my way down this way just a little bit. And the reason I did that was because I didn't have a knot whenever I started. When I started this one, I only had a slip stitch, and that could work out. Now on your bottom, you want to pull that snug. And see, this is really frayed too. Pinch your yarn, work it in there. Ah, I missed one. They went through, I just didn't grab them all at the same time. When that happens, you pull on your yarn and it'll pull it straight. If you get it all through. If you don't, you're going to have to weave it in again. Okay, I'm going to put my hand up inside of here. And what we're going to do is we're coming out from this direction. The yarn's coming this way. So we're going to go back and go around the same direction that the yarn was coming out for a little bit further, because we were weaving over our tail. And this is just going to get it a little bit firmer. And then we're going to go through, pull it tight, and then we're going to skip over because our yarn's coming out on this one. We're going to skip over and go back into this one. We're going to go past where it came out right here to help close that off a little bit. And since we wove in our tail, we're okay. That should not come out because we wove in, we worked over our tail, so that should be fine. Cut our yarn, and our project is completely finished. It's okay to have this. This is where you carried up your yarn, but you can't see that on this side. And you are done. So we'll put it back on our can. And there's your can cozy. That's the back side. This is the front. So like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.